Good morning from Thailand and hello for wherever you are. So first of all, I would like to say thank you for the Institute of Thai Study Chulalongkorn University for hosting such a great event. Even though we are under the severe outbreak of the pandemic in Thailand at the moment. So let me introduce myself. I am Woramat Malasart, a PhD candidate from the School of Social Science, the University of Otago, Dunedin, New Zealand. The topic that I'm going to share with you today is about the Buddha image construction in Lanna and Lan Chang or Lan Chang, ideas, ritual, and beliefs. First, let me tell you a little bit the reason why I sort of want to explore more on this topic and what the matter. So I'm showing you the maps to sort of show you and maybe helpful to understand what the former kingdom of Lanna and Lan Chang are located and how close they are. And we are going to leave the Ayutthaya kingdom because this paper is going to be just focused on the kingdoms of Lanna and Lan Chang. What I mean by Lanna kingdom is that it includes nowadays northeast, northern Thailand and some part of Myanmar. And what I mean by Lan Chang here, I mean it includes nowadays Laos and northeastern Thailand. But my paper is going to focus more on Isan region because I wouldn't be able to go to Laos.
I'm sorry, Kun Woramat. It looks like that we cannot see your slide. So please make sure that you share your screen with us. Please share
Oh, sorry.
Please share your PowerPoint because our staff cannot. Okay, we see it.
Okay. Is that clear now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, here is, I'm just talking about, I'm showing the map to show you what is called the former kingdom of Lanna and Lan Chang and how close they are and where they are located. And as you can realize here, their name pretty similar, right? Lanna literally means the lands of the million rice field, and Lan Chang literally means the lands of the million elephants. And not only their names are similar, but also they has a very strong connection. I mean, like they has a very close connection, especially during the 15th and 16th century CE. And a number of scholars sort of study and identify a broad spectrum and found that the two kingdoms share a number of similarities. For example, the script they use in both kingdoms, some languages, architecture, Buddhist manuscript, and some practice. And here, I just want to show you the most obvious one, let's say, that the two kingdoms I share, which is the script. Both kingdoms use the same script called Dhamma or Tham script, but in the detail, they sort of have some minor differences. I would say if you could read Lanna script and you would be able to read Tham Lan Chang script as well. So here I'm sort of showing you that you can realize how close they are. For example, the Kolakang here, Ka, in Tham Lanna and Ka in Tham Lan Chang, they are pretty similar. And they're almost the same, right? And Ngongu, Nga here, pretty much the same, I would say. Yeah, because, so pretty much the same. So, so far we know sort of a general similarity between the two kingdoms, right? My question in the paper is that's going to be asked, what about a particular practice related to a Buddha image construction? Do they, in other words, do they share the similar things, or do they just not even close? That is going to be my main consideration. And So far, so a number of scholars has studies and many Lanna manuscripts related to Buddha image construction have been found and studied by a number of scholars in the field of Lanna study, Thai study, art historical study. But I'm asking that, what about the manuscript in Lan Chang that related to the Buddha image construction? Do they exist anymore? That is the main reason. And this paper going to uncover this issue. Well, according to the historical background of the two kingdoms, they are pretty close, right? We just would expect that there should have been some similar manuscript related to the Buddha image construction in Lanna and Lan Chang, but we actually don't have concrete evidence to prove that statement. So yeah, this paper is going to uncover the issue as well. And so how I'm going to do it, the methodology that I'm going to apply to figuring out the questions is that going to be a textual analysis or textual approach rather than a historical approach. What I'm saying in terms of textual analysis, I'm going first explore whether the manuscript on Buddha image construction exists in Lanna or Lan Chang. And then I'm going to examine the content of the manuscript collection and analyze them and see what the text contained within the manuscript collection can tell us about construction technique, ritual procedure, and religious doctrine. Okay, this is the methodology. And let's see the result, whether or not I find some manuscript related to the Buddha image construction in Lanna and Lan Chang. Of course, I have to find some so that I can write on the article, right? And so there is no problem when I went to Lanna. So because a number of most of Lanna manuscript has been digitized and made available online. You just go to their website, which is called Lanna manuscript, and then you can find a heaps of manuscript, and you can search on the name or the topic that you want to find. And yeah, there is no problem with that. And I only select 3 manuscripts for the analysis in the paper. So yeah, Lanna manuscript has a very strong connection, and they had a funding from Germany and other institutes. But the challenging I found is that when I went to Lan Chang or a particular Isan, because I wouldn't be able to go to Laos because of the pandemic, I just can only go to Isan, and it was pretty challenging in terms of exploring the manuscript on the Isan, because most of the manuscripts were kept in the personal collection, and most of them have not been digitized and made available online. But anyway, so I was lucky enough to find some manuscripts, and here we are. So I find at least 2 manuscripts related to the Buddha image construction, which called Tamra Kan Sang Pajao, so or a manual for constructing a Buddha image. So this manuscript is found in Nakhon Phanom. And the second one is the manual for installing yantra into a Buddha image. So the manuscript is found in Khon Kaen, so or in Thai called Tamra Khien Sai Ong Pra. And after we identify the manuscript, so the next is that I sort of went to look at their content and what the text within the manuscript collection can tell us. First, I can identify the similarity in terms of the Buddha image, the portion of the body of the Buddha. So, for example, in Lanna, they describe 4 types of Buddha image character, or called like Singhala, or lion-like character, Nikrota Lakhana and Kacha Lakhana and Maravichaya. And similarly, in Lanna, the manuscript also describe the 3 types of the Buddha image character. So, but there is excludes, they doesn't describe about the Mara Vichaya, and the three types are included in the manuscript. So yeah, we can conclude that they are share some similarity and just a minor difference between the body portion in the culture of Lanna and Lan Chang. And they also share the same ritual instruction. So I'm gonna talk about this in more detail in the next 2 slides. So and they also believe in the day in which the Buddha should be constructed, or in terms of a good day or a bad day or a auspicious day. I'm gonna talk about a little bit more about this in the next 2 slides as well. So let's see some highlights here. In the 2 regions, I mean in the 2 kingdoms, Lanna and Lan Chang, I found a similar manuscript, but there is a little difference in terms of script records, the text. So the text is called Dhammakaya Katha or Katha Dhammakaya. In both regions, the Dhammakaya Katha is a bilingual text. What I mean bilingual text is the text that written into 2 languages, which mean Pali and vernacular language. So in both regions, the text has the same textual style, which mean like they use a traditional method called yoksap. I think some of you probably know about the term yoksap, or providing the Pali words, and then the translator provide the vernacular translation. Here is the Lanna and Lan language. Here I sort of show you. I sort of want to show you an example here. So the manuscript share, this is the Pali section, which pretty close. It's record that Panjintriyang, Panya Palang, Pawarachang Kanang. And then they translate into their vernacular language here in Lanna, here in Lan Chang. You can see some similarity here. In Lanna use Lam Kang for their translation, but in Lan Chang they use Pi Kang, which means the same thing, which is translated into English is as Shin. And then another one is they translate the term Buddho as Phra Phutta Chao. On the other hand, Lan Chang translate this term as Sappanyu Chao, but they mean the same thing, which is the Buddha. They are pretty close alike. What this can tell us about then, what the similarity and differences between the 2 kingdoms can tell us, it can tell us that people from the 2 kingdoms know the same thing, and they try to understand the same text and localize the text into their own culture. And this can tell us about textual transmission. I mean, people from Lan Chang probably come to Lanna and study with the teacher in Lanna, and then they sort of got fascinated, and they thought, oh, they should have like copy the text and then bring it to Lan Chang. This could be the possibility as well. So, but at least it tells us about the textual transmission from Lanna and Lan Chang, or from Lan Chang to Lanna. Okay, and let me talk a little bit more about the idea and the belief that shared by the 2 kingdoms. So in Lanna and Lan Chang, they know the same ritual when they construct a new Buddha image, which means the mark implantation and the heart installation. So what I mean by the mark implantation is that when they construct a new Buddha image, they are going to recite a special words or a special passage, which called Dhammakaya. And then they sort of recite the mark of the Dhammakaya into each part of the Buddha image. As you can see here in the slide, here is as kind of, they're going to recite and then they introduce each mark to the Buddha image, which called mark implantation ritual. And not only the mark implantation ritual is performed in Lanna and Lan Chang, but also when they are going to finish the ritual, they are going to put a heart of the Buddha. This is the character or what is called the heart of the Buddha. They're going to put it inside the Buddha image in order to make the Buddha present, or sort of they are going to give life or make the Buddha image present or having life again. And yeah, both rituals are shared by the two kingdoms. And not only it is important in terms of ritual practice, but it also can reflect what we call the philosophical idea that the image of the Buddha is not just a material form, but also his enlightened body, or his Dhamma body, or his Dhammagaya. And it also reflects the idea that the Buddha consists of two ideas. This is important in terms of the history of the idea that the Buddha consists of two bodies, the physical body and the Dhamma body. And the last similar that I identified from my study is that the belief in the auspicious day. So they believe that so when you are going to construct a new Buddha image, you have to select the best day or the good day for construct an image, so that the donor, the community, the Sangha community would gain prosperity and live in prosperity or a special or great merit. But on the other hand, if you construct a new Buddha image in a wrong day or in a bad day, so it would be the opposite side, which means it's going to bring you a bad luck, or it's going to bring you the danger or something like that. And Lanna and Lan Chang share the same auspicious day, which means the first, the third, and the seventh waxing and waning day are subject to be auspicious days, or ขึ้น1 ค่ำ 3 ค่ำ and 7 ค่ำ and แรม 1 ค่ำ 3 ค่ำ and 7 ค่ำ are a good day. Okay. And then let me summarize what the matter and what I had found so far. So first, I sort of present a new findings on the manuscript that scholars have not been studied anymore in Lan Chang. And I identify some similarity between the two kingdoms when they construct a new Buddha image in terms of building instruction, ritual processes, and the beliefs. And I also showed and demonstrate the idea shared by the two kingdoms that they believe that the Buddha image is not just an icon or a material representation of the Buddha, but rather the living Buddha or his living entities or his living body that consists of two bodies, which includes the physical body and the Dhamma body. Okay, and this is sort of the highlights of the article is that the article sort of highlight and reflects on a cross-cultural exchange within the Dhamma script cultural domains, including the Lanna and Lan Chang. It sort of shows us that people from Lanna can travel to Lan Chang, and people from Lan Chang can travel to Lanna. And not only the traveling of people, but also they also sort of bring the text, the idea, and the belief from one place to another. So this reflects the textual and cultural transmission from Lanna and Lan Chang and Lan Chang and Lanna. Okay. And the last one that I want to highlight in terms of manuscript study point of view. So I want to show that the manuscript that contain a similar content here, it's about the Buddha image production and written in a different script here, Tham Lanna and Tham Lao, and found in the different geographical regions, reflect the idea that the manuscript themselves and the Buddhist doctrine contain within not static, but rather a living entity that circulate between scribe, translator, ritualist within first in the region, and then across what we are now international boundary. At the same time, transferring ideas, ritual practice, and belief from one place to another. This all, I think.